So since everybody wanted to know, I'm going to share my experience in Paris. I did not like it, but first I will share all of the good things that I experienced in Paris. So if you could not tell, that is me over there. This is in 2017, and the person who took this picture was a complete monster. So there is a tour that some of you may have already heard of, but it's called, it's Rick Stevenson's Black Paris Tour. And this is a picture, I'm in the back, but somebody's in front of me, so you can't see my face. But this was such a great tour because the tour focuses on Black historical figures that have traveled from America to Paris and some of the impacts that they've had. They go over certain sculptures that are dedicated to Black people in Paris. I learned so much from this trip. I met really cool people. Most of the people on my tour, were from America. I believe the person who gave the tour was also from America, and he moved to Paris, just like some of the people he talked about. So you go over people like Josephine Baker, some figures that were in the military. It's dope. Loved it. And it is very walking heavy. So it's a walking tour, and we do take the bus too. I don't know if anything changed today. This was pre-COVID, but had a ball, loved it. And I wish I had done this when I was on the tour, but there's an extension and it is a little extra where you could go to Little Africa and chill there and go to a restaurant. It's really cool. Something else that I thoroughly enjoyed was having dinner in a predominantly Senegalese apartment complex, town. I don't know if the town was, but I was just specifically in this apartment complex, and a woman at the apartment complex made dinner for all of us in the communal kitchen, and it was really special. This apartment complex was predominantly Black, but there were also people who were Northern African, so like Algerian, but Arab Northern African people. And across from my hotel, shout out to this restaurant, I don't even remember the name of it, but across from my hotel, there was an Italian restaurant that I went to. They were all Italian that worked there. I believe they only spoke Italian, but they really appreciated me being at the restaurant. It was on and off hour. They do close for different segments of the day at a lot of restaurants in Paris. But the restaurant was very good. The food was amazing, and the people were just really kind to me. And that's something I really appreciated because Paris was not very nice to me. So now, why did I not enjoy Paris? The people. I know a lot of people hear about this. It's like one of those big stereotypes, but the people were not like vibing with me at all. And it actually made me feel very uncomfortable and very unwanted. I do not speak French. I did try to learn French before I went. And anytime I tried to use French, they automatically knew that my pronunciation wasn't good. And they gave me a very cold attitude. As soon as I tried, they kind of shut down. And they just gave me this very cold treatment, What also disappointed me was the fact that Black people were like this to me too. I would say specifically when we're focusing on the touristy portion of Paris, that was the attitude that I received. And I think something else that hurt me was the fact that some of the Black girls were not very nice to me. I did go to a Burger King and there were Black women that were working there, and I ordered coffee and fries, and they were making fun of it. I could actually understand what they were saying because I knew a little bit of French at that time. When I first got to the country, there was somebody at the airport at a kiosk or something, and I asked her for a program or something that I could use to help guide me. She didn't say anything and slid this English speaking pamphlet in front of me. It was so apparent that I spoke English, And then there was somebody at a liquor store that heard me speaking English, and he was Black, and he's like, "Hey, everybody, we got to speak English for the American." It was really weird. So the icing on the cake was, unfortunately, I met someone who was really terrible. The first place that I went to when I arrived in Paris was the Eiffel Tower. And I was actually not aware of this before I got to the Eiffel Tower, but there are a lot of vendors at the Eiffel Tower, okay? Most of them were Black immigrant vendors. But it was just so chaotic when I got there. One person, we interacted a little bit. We were talking. He knew very little English, but we were vibing. So we decided to go walk around. He took pictures for me. He then asked me to go back to his place and we can hang out. And I said, sure, why don't we do it? And horrible idea. I followed him on this like long bus route, this long metro route. I was going somewhere I did not know at all. I don't advise anyone to do this, by the way. And I'm going to be talking about DV, so trigger warning if anyone feels uncomfortable about listening to this. But anyway, before this whole terrible incident went down, I did go to his like apartment area. That's where I had the Senegalese dinner with some of his like Senegalese friends. And it was great. We were having a great time. Like I said, there was a woman who made the dinner for us. She was like a mother to them. But unfortunately, the guy did not want me to leave when I needed to leave. I was actually going to meet some of my, I had some past coworkers that came to Paris too, and I was going to go have dinner with them. And that actually never happened because the guy did not want me to leave. It became a little violent, I should say. I didn't get physically hurt, but it was just traumatic. So basically what happened was when things were getting weird, I tried to leave when he wasn't looking. He tried to chase me down. He had my stuff. I went to get help. No one knew English in that apartment complex. A group of amazing guys. They were like, I don't know what they were doing. They were chilling. They were rolling blunts. I don't know what they were doing. But I asked them, hey, like I had to pantomime what was going on. Of course, there was a girl videotaping the whole thing. So whatever, right? They came into the apartment complex. They beat the guy up. They got my stuff back. The whole entire apartment complex came out and like helped me get like an Uber. But yeah, that was my Paris story. I don't love it. I think one of the biggest issues that I had was just how unwelcoming the city was. And I have been to other countries that were Spanish speaking and it was the complete opposite. Also, when I went, there were a lot of Syrian refugee families on the streets. It was really hard to watch. There were Syrian, like, children and mothers and whole families just on the streets. I may go back with friends, but there were some great things that I learned, especially about the people of color that live there. But I hope this helped.